In this segment, I'd like to focus on TRIRIGA Trees, our environmental sustainability application. The Trees module focuses on reducing your energy costs and helping you achieve your carbon reduction goals that you've set out as an organization. Trees is going to help you first measure what your consumption is at an individual site, rolling that up through the portfolio. We'll explore some of the operational efficiencies that we drive in making sure that we first and foremost measure what we're consuming, and then take it to the next level, look at projects that will help us reduce our energy spend. And once we know what our spend is, stage 2 of that, Trees is going to help focus on identifying those projects that are going to have an impact on your energy as well as an improvement of your carbon emissions within the portfolio. So let's log into TRIRIGA Trees, and I'll share with you some of the key features that we offer to help drive sustainable projects in your organization. As I log into the system, we provide an interactive dashboard that provides content to this user relevant to their job role within the organization. As an environmental user, I have in the middle of my chart an active opportunities bubble chart that's showing me the various projects that I am looking at that I may want to embark in to help reduce my energy spend as well as my greenhouse emissions. And I'm going to get into some of the detail behind this a little bit later. As I go down on the chart, TRIRIGA provides an interactive set of benchmarks and metrics available to measure how am I performing against my goals. TRIRIGA has what we refer to as TRIRIGA Workplace Performance Manager. And leveraging the use of the maps, what you're seeing here is a color-coded metric. Right now I'm looking at energy use intensity, and each of these push pins is a different building that I'm managing within the organization. On the right-hand side, I can hit a drop down of my little TRIRIGA eyeglass here and start running other types of reports here in the metrics. So one of the things I may want to look at here, for example, is energy use or water use over occupant, and run this query here. And the system's interactively going to report on me how am I doing with my energy spent at the site versus the number of occupants in the building, where I have problems. And you can see I have a couple red areas here in the organization. I have the ability as I go down through here to open up these panels, and with the panel I get content specific to the metric. In this case I can see the gross area and what that current carbon footprint is of this particular site, and the ability to drill into the site right from the map. Leveraging the map as an interactive tool to see how am I doing in my energy spend. Let's zoom in on this particular side of the screen. On the left-hand side, what we call our performance metrics. Within TRIRIGA, we provide interactive performance metrics to allow us to measure how we're doing. In Workplace Performance Manager, this particular user has a number of metrics. In this case, my energy improvements. And over here, I go down to a couple of my charts here, like emissions. Within the individual charts, these are interactive metrics that let me measure all the different components of my environmental initiative, from water usage to solid waste, to looking at energy use and mix that energy use over degree days to get normalization across my portfolio. Now all this rich data you're seeing comes from a utility module within TRIRIGA, allowing us to understand what services are being consumed at the buildings, to be able to report my energy use and be able to report my carbon emissions. Let me dive into one of the buildings here for a minute and take a look at what type of information we provide at the building level. So as I look at the TRIRIGA Executive Parkway facility, this is an owned building down in Dallas, one of our headquarters properties. At the site level, we keep track of details about the site, whether it's leased or owned, and other critical attributes about the site. As we go down on the chart here, we have information about the environmental details of the site. We're going to track how we measure or calculate our carbon at the site based on actual energy use or estimates. We're going to track from a carbon footprinting the carbon region that we're drawing the energy from, and also look at the weather station, looking at the climate zone of where this building is, which will help us normalize our reporting across this portfolio. As you know, heating a building in Arizona in the wintertime is much different than heating a building in Philadelphia. So the ability to put apples to apples comparisons in, all of our carbon footprinting will be normalized across the region and the climate zone of where this data is being drawn from. TRIRIGA provides an out-of-the-box interface to the portfolio manager from Energy Star. Our customers have the ability to integrate to the portfolio manager and get rankings of how this building is performing against the Energy Star ratings in the industry. Now across the top you see a number of tabs. From the assessment tab, we have a top-down view of all the equipment and systems in this building where the end user can identify and inspect each of those systems, from the foundations to the roofing, the conveyor belts, and so forth, or whatever other systems are in the building. Here's HVAC, for example. We provide an interactive inspection capability to have folks go into those buildings and make recommendations and inspections of the building to look at opportunities that may improve energy usage or reduce our energy consumption and improve our greenhouse emissions. In the system, we identify these as what we call opportunities. So these opportunities will all be created in the system. They'll be estimated using our estimating capabilities, which will come directly from our estimating module, which has a direct feed to products like RS Means to get very detailed estimates of each of these problem areas. As I come over to the environmental tab, TRIRIGA's Trees product will manage Scope 1, Scope 2, and Scope 3 emissions for you at the site. What your first view you're going to see is emissions carbon intensity over gross square footage. And as a metric here, we're going to track it by each fiscal period so we can see are we improving or not through the life cycle of the building, through the different periods. As I come down on the screen, I'll see my emissions summary broken down by Scope 1, Scope 2 was my indirect, and Scope 3, which was my travel and waste summary. And down below, I have a series of logs. This is where all the data gets fed into the TRIRIGA repository from the actual buildings themselves. These logs can track things like your energy logs coming in from the consumption at the site, in this case electric and gas. We can look at waste and water logs at the site. We can look at, in this case, a waste log with what you're recycling, and over here a waste log of what you're taking out of the campus. Now all this data you're seeing can be pulled into TRIRIGA in a variety of ways. Most elegant way is directly reading the meters themselves. TRIRIGA can connect to the building control systems, and through IBM's IBM application, we can provide you with adapters that link directly to those meters to get that critical energy data. The next stage of the exercise here is to look at opportunities and decide capital expenditures that I'm going to do to my portfolio that are going to have an impact on my environmental goals. What I have the ability to do is very quickly with my opportunity analysis to go locate all the recommendations that my organization has posed around environmental efficiency. So we'll go in and do a quick search on environmental. I'll go ahead and grab a couple opportunities here for you and hit OK. And what this system will do is automatically develop a business case for me to take those opportunities that I've identified and do a financial business case of showing me, in this case, a comparison tool to show me what's the cost of doing those projects versus the environmental and energy impact of doing those projects. So I get a nice side-by-side looking at the overall energy costs, the estimated savings, what rebates I may get at the site by doing that project, as well as all my investment terms. For instance, the net present value, the investment cost, the simple payback of this particular investment. So I can make an informed decision of what projects I should be promoting as projects that are going to have that impact to the business. So in summary, TRIRIGA Trees lets me measure my consumption and report my carbon disclosure, and provides assessment capabilities to be able to look at projects that we can invoke on to reduce that energy and reduce carbon emissions, and then execute it against it with the projects that we're empowering our business to do or investment decisions on the project initiatives. I hope you enjoyed this segment of TRIRIGA Trees, and I encourage you to learn more of how TRIRIGA can deliver value in your environmental initiatives. Thank you.